Hi, I'm Vidya, and I'm an 11th grader at Northview High School.
I'm Sarah, and I'm a junior at Northview High School.
Hi, I'm Savannah. I'm a junior in high school.
I struggled with bullying all throughout my middle school years.
I was bullied relentlessly all through elementary and middle school.
I went to 4 different middle schools, so I was the new girl every year, twice in 1 year, and middle school was just a really hard time for me.
In middle school, there was a guy that I will call John, who once told me that if there was one person he could choose to leave the school, it would be me.
I walked into 8th grade, my science class. I had just moved to the school, so I was new, and I looked around and there was this girl that I'll call Clarice. And she was smiling, so I went and sat at her table, and there was another girl, Lauren, there, and we were lab partners because we sat at the same table. And there was this one project where we had to do like 8 parts, and she immediately took over and she said, okay, I'm doing the first part, Lauren, you can do parts 2 and 3, and Savannah, you can do the rest of the parts. So she gave me the bulk of the project. And I went home, I was annoyed, but I went home and I did it because I wanted to get a good grade on the project. And I came back and we turned in the project, and then a couple days later I was sick, so I wasn't at school. And Clarice, well, she didn't do her part of the project. And when the teacher called her up to explain it, she blamed it all on me. And she said that I hadn't done my part of the project, and she had done the bulk of it. And the rest of the year, she just gave me all these cold looks, and she made me feel really small. And I never knew what I had done. She just talked to me in a tone of voice that made me feel small. And there was never any like tangible evidence of what she had done, so I couldn't talk to the counselor, but it was really hurtful.
I had a really good friend that I'll call Katie all through elementary school, and this one time in 5th grade we had a really stupid argument on the playground over something worthless. And I went to the counselor after recess and I was crying about it. But when I came into school the next day, I apologized to Katie, but she told me I was never your friend. I was only pretending.
When I was in elementary and middle school, I had this one friend, and she was one of my closest friends ever, but I didn't really realize that she wasn't a friend at all. And so she always made it a point to make it that she was better than me and I was basically nothing. And so sometimes when you joke around with your friend and say you're dumb or you're stupid, she actually meant it. And I didn't really realize this because she started saying these things and I kind of started to believe it. And so it was just only after a while I realized, like, I'm better than that, I'm not dumb, I'm not stupid. And it was kind of hard because it's like one of your really close friends saying something so like mean, and it kind of hurts you, and it was just really bad because I didn't really realize it. And so that's just one of the things about bullying. A lot of times you don't even know what's happening.
When I lived in Texas in 6th grade, there was this girl named Megan, and we were friends the entire year. We were best friends. But suddenly 2 of her friends started fighting, and she would side with a different one every day. She dragged me into it. I really hated it, and I tried to talk to her about it, but she didn't acknowledge what I said. And suddenly everything was just about these 2 friends fighting. Later in the year, I had to go to the hospital for chronic headaches. They never figured out what it was. The doctor said it might be stress-induced, but she came and visited me, and I talked with her, and she seemed normal, and, Later, I went back to school, and I was so glad to be back. It was the last few weeks of school, and suddenly Megan was just best friends with these 2 girls who were friends again. And they'd get in this little cluster of 3, and they'd kind of shut me out. Megan never talked to me anymore. She just started looking at me like I'd done something wrong, and I had no idea what it was. And once at our 6th grade pool party, we had this shaving cream fight, and with the teachers had organized it, and she rubbed shaving cream in my eyes, just walked up to me and splashed me in the face with it. And I was allergic to it, and I had a reaction, and my eyes started hurting and stuff, and I talked to her, and she said, whatever. And I said, well, I'm hurt, aren't you gonna apologize? And she said, no, go away.
One time in middle school, we were playing a game in gym with scooters, and we had to line up and scooter ourselves out to the center of the tennis courts where there was a ball, and then we would have to come back. It was a relay race. And when it was my turn to go up, this guy that I'll call John got behind me and shoved the scooter so far that I fell off of it at the end of the tennis courts. And when I told him that he'd hurt me, he told me, well, you want to win, don't you?
I kind of discovered who I am through music and art, and that's been a really big part of my story.
It was really my family and friends who made me realize that I was better than what I had been treated, and it really helped me get through everything. And so I'd say just tell people, you know, there's always people that are there for you.
I had a really, really good friend in elementary school, and then I was lucky enough to get another one in middle school that have helped me with the bullying a lot, and also my faith has kept me strong.
Bullying hasn't stopped me.
Bullying hasn't stopped me.
Bullying hasn't stopped me.